Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. This is module 4, lesson 30. This is your coach, Mr. Magnum. We're going to look at this problem. This is the objective. Divide decimal dividends, which is this one right here, by non-unit decimals. That means this one right here. How do you solve this problem? Well, let's look at what we need to do. Step 1, write division as a fraction. So you're going to write this as a fraction. Let's do that. So that's going to be, we're going to write that 2 divided by 1/10. That's it. This is all we have to do in step 1. Now we have to complete this step number 2. It says rename fraction to make the denominator a whole number. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to look at equivalent fractions. We're going to rewrite 2 over 1/10. Now we got to multiply this by a number where we have to get rid of the decimal number. Okay? Now, one way to do that is when you multiply it by 10. So if you multiply the denominator by 10, you have to multiply the numerator by 10. Now let's do the math. 2 times 10 equals 20. And 1/10 times 10. Now remember, when you have 10 1/10, then that equals 1. Let me show it to you right here. So 1 whole equals 10 tenths. Okay, so that will be our answer. The answer will be 20. Okay, let's find another equivalent fraction. So now we know that this is the same as this number. And remember, we're renaming the fraction so it's easier to play with this and find the common denominators. And also, it's easier to solve this division. So when you do 2 divided by 1/10, the answer is 20, right? So let's do it one more with a different number. What if you had... Can you do this with a multiple, like let's say 20? So notice that I'm using a multiple of 10. So let's do this here. Let me change colors here. So what is 2 times 20? That will equal 40. Okay. And just so you understand this better, this number right here equals 2 times 10. So when you multiply this, 1 times 2 equals 2. That means 2/10. And 2/10 times 10 equals 2. Why? Because when you have 2, you have 20 tenths. Okay. Now this is not the same as this, but that's just a reference point. So now when we do this division, what is 40 divided by 2? Equals 20, just like on this problem up here. All right, let's try one more. Let's move this up here a little bit. Let's say we're going to now use 2 over 1/10. What will be another number that we can multiply it by? If you pay attention what we're doing, we're using multiples of 10. How about we do 50? Just for the sake of it. So this is 50 times 50, correct? And remember again that this is 5 times 10. Okay, so that's helpful to know what we're doing. So 2 times 50 equals 100. And 1/10 times 5 equals 5/10. 5/10 times 10 equals 5. So now what I want you to notice is that all these answers there, they all equal 20. 20 divided by 1 equals 20. 40 divided by 2 equals 20. And 100 divided by 5 equals 20. So the answer for this problem is 2 divided by 1/10 equals 20. 20 tenths. Now, so we can write this down now as this is like a conclusion. Let me make sure this is visible. This will be like a conclusion. Okay, so we can say that this right here, 2 and divided by 1/10 equals the same as 20 over 1 equals, okay, let me get my marker here, equals these numbers again, which is 42, and also equals 100 divided by 5, because they all equal 5. We can also conclude, let me use a different color, we can conclude as well that 2, this fraction right here, let me show you here, this, okay, let me get my marker here, and this fraction and this fraction, actually in this expression, these three expressions are the same, they have the same value. Let me demonstrate. Well, we already demonstrated because the answer for all of them is 20. So here is the other conclusion we're making, that, let me get my marker, the 2 divided, multiplied by 10 tenths equals the same thing as 2 and 1/10 multiplied by 20 20s. We can also say that 2 over 1/10 divided by 1/10 times 50 over 50 is the same. So all of these fractions, if you notice this, all of these expressions, they all have the same answer, which is 20. Okay, so watch this video and we're gonna come back to do some of the problems. Signing out, your coach. Make sure you understand this video. I noticed that some of you don't understand it. Go back and watch the video again if something is not clear. Don't just write notes. The notes should be in your brain. Okay, remember that. Signing out, your coach.